Today on the channel, we got a WWE Mattel reveals video as we break down all the reveals today from WWE.com.
And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Kyle here, back again with another Mattel WWE reveals video. Of course, every single month, or almost every single month, we do know WWE.com does post up some pictures of all the latest and greatest of what's coming from the Mattel Championship Showdown lines, basic lines, WWE Superstars lines, Ultimate lines, and of course the Elite line. And June, no different. They just released some stuff, and it's an interesting one, and we're going to go through item by item, figure by figure. We're going to dissect it. We're going to talk about it a little bit here. Before, of course, those eventually do come to the table for a review, but a lot of this stuff we've seen, a few things we haven't seen the pretty glamour shots for, but let's stop jibber-jabbering like a young Mr. T. Let's get after it, and let's start it off where they started off with. Basic 140. Of course, basics, take them, leave them. You guys know me and a lot of you, we dabble in some stuff. Some of these we'll dabble in, some of these are straight up pass. But let's start it off here, and they start off with a straight up pass for me. It is Randy Orton. Randy Orton, no stranger to the basics line over many years, of course. We do know that. And there's a new one here. Of course, you got to put Randy Orton's on a regular basis, like a lot of the other characters. I get it. It makes sense at the end of the day, but easy pass for a lot of the collectors that are more in tune with the elites. Great for little Johnny out there, though, is a Randy Orton figure. Tommaso Ciampa, very fitting here, as he just did return to Monday Night Raw a couple of weeks ago. We're getting him back in a basics line. We've seen that head in the past. He is, however, going to be the chase in this one. So you Ciampa fans out there, you're in luck. You got two of them to track down in basic 140. Ronda Rousey, one of those ones that's an interesting one. I wouldn't be against picking up something like this for maybe $6. Female basics, a lot of times a little bit rough, especially in the chest department. Just kind of painted on shirts always looks a little strange. But Ronda Rousey, a tip-top performer. A performer, though, that is really, a lot of people are giving him that old-school X-Pac go-away heat. A lot of people have kind of turned against Ronda Rousey. But it's a Ronda Rousey, and it's been a while since we've had one in the basics. We had an Elite one. Was that Elite 96? Don't hold me to that, but I think it was like 96, 97, probably 96. But Ronda Rousey, one of those top female performers, I think you got to get out there on a regular basis. So we got her coming again. An interesting looking one here with the lightning bolts on the tights. I think she actually did wear this. I think remember her wearing this, but she's got a very confused look in her face. That's for sure, no doubt about it. And then one that was announced just a couple of weeks ago by good friend of the channel, old Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare himself. He did tag me on Twitter. You guys saw that. But Cody, great friend of the channel. I hear he tries to catch almost every single video, at least all the He-Man videos, maybe not so much the wrestling ones, but old Cody looking good in the suit, and I think this will be one of the best selling basics of all time. Yes, you heard that right. You're going to get a lot of elite collectors that will dive in and buy a basic like this. Of course, the people that are always buying basics will buy this. The Cody Rhodes fans, which there are a ton of children of, will be buying this as well. And a lot of customizers will be buying this because you can move this around. You could put somebody else's head on it if you really needed to. It's a good, basic, suited body mold. The one watch out will be is the tattoo. I think they got that here and not on here this time, which is good. But it being on the neck, you're going to have to, I don't know if acetone would work for something like that. You pretty much just have to paint it over. So customizer's going to have a little extra work to do with this Cody Rhodes figure, but a very good one and a must-have if you ask me. Definitely picking up this Cody. Love the blue suit as well. I have a suit just like this, so maybe I'll make a custom of myself in that. Maybe I'll get the tattoo to make it really real to life. We'll see what happens there. Then a guy that's no stranger to any action figure line ever, Rey Mysterio, of course. An interesting one with the Lucha Legend shirt going on. Just a very strange body style on old Rey Mysterio here. I can't really put my finger on it. Maybe it's the the really long, skinny legs with the more jacked up torso and kind of the almost gorilla-like arms is kind of what it looks like there. But something definitely looks amiss on that Rey Mysterio. Just a very, very strange looking one there. I don't know. Not for me. That's a pass. So Cody's a definite pickup. In a deep clearance, I may pick up the Ronda Rousey. That's kind of where I leave that set. I don't need the Ciampa. I don't need the Orton. Just not going to be in the cards for me. Then they showed Elite 103, so that's why I said a lot of stuff we've seen, and if you guys have been following along, hopefully you've subscribed to this very YouTube channel. We did unbox all of 103. We also did the Chase Cody or Chase Stardust, and we ranked the entire line from my least favorite to my favorite. So check out those videos if you did miss those along the way. They are all up on YouTube currently, so check out any of those videos if you want to. Now we take a look at Championship Showdown. A lot of this is kind of similar, as these, of course, are shipping right now from Ringside Collectibles. Use discount code Kyle, save yourself 10%. But I did unbox this Mankind and Rock 2-pack. It's been on the Patreon for about a week. Eventually it'll come to traditional YouTube, but that's the nice thing about this Patreon channel of mine over here. A lot of members over there, of course, you get to see all these videos much earlier. Of course, I knock out a ton of videos. I can only release so many videos to YouTube a day. 3 is a heck of a lot, but there's even more content over there. And things like this unboxing takes a little bit of time to get out there on the old regular YouTubes, I guess we'll call it. But really do like this pack. You'll see in that review a very cool one. Really do like the Rock's head, not so much the body, but the Mankind for a Mick Foley fan like myself, and hopefully some of you out there, it is a definite pickup, a definite must-have. Going from the must-have to the one I'm going to wait for a clearance sale on, it's Austin Theory Cody Rhodes. Not a fan of that Austin Theory at all. That whole torso just looks strange. They've used that on a few different ones, and I believe The Rock has that same kind of torso going on there. Something about it just looks off to me. And then it's those Austin Theory heads, which are fun for a second head, but not a static permanent head, if you ask me. It's just too goofy to have on a head. We need a new Austin Theory head scan ASAP, and I'm pretty sure Mattel probably already has one already for his next Elite figure, I would imagine. We'll see. Maybe we'll find out at San Diego Comic-Con here in a couple of weeks, so we'll stay tuned for that as well. Everybody wants to know if we got a new Austin head coming. We'll see. And then Cody Rhodes, straight up basic repaint. It is looking good, though. It's very similar to the Top Picks one, which we unboxed on the channel not too long ago. But a lot of Cody completionists out there, of course, as we said earlier. Kids love Cody Rhodes. Kids want Cody figures. They're going to be picking this bad boy up. So looking good right there from the Championship Showdown. Another one that I would play a deal game on. I'm kind of a completionist on the Street Profits. I'm missing one Battle Pack Championship Showdown from a while back. I'll get those eventually. I like this, even though it is a straight-up re-release of old ones with new paint and everything. But Montez Ford, Angelo Dawkins looking good in the Championship Showdown. As usual, it does drive me absolutely insane. We only get one tag team title belt with them. It feels weird. It feels so incomplete. I'd almost rather have no title belt than one title belt. You guys chime in. Are you fine with just getting one? I'd rather just have none if they're just going to give me one. Maybe that's just me. I don't know, but it does drive me absolutely insane. And then we turn our attention to Top Picks. We got Rey Mysterio, which is a straight-up re-release. Matt Riddle, straight-up re-release again. I bought those thinking they would be somewhat different. They are not different, unfortunately. But Cody Rhodes is the one that is different between the two. Very hard to take pictures of his tights on this one. It goes between like a teal and a gray and a blue, depending on the angle and the lighting and everything. But it is still a good figure, and I like that it's at least a little bit different. So this Cody, of course, we unboxed on the channel. Check that one out. We've already talked about that one here. Now we get some exciting ones here, and I know Ringside Collectible is very excited about this one. This is going to be probably their top seller of the year, or at least top 5 seller of the year. It is the Ultimate Edition Usos 2-pack. Man, an absolute game changer. This, of course, was announced around WrestleMania weekend or so. Definitely a big-time get for Ringside Collectibles, being the first tag team Ultimates of all time. And, of course, the Bloodline running wild at the top of the card on Raw, SmackDown, pay-per-views. Man, couldn't hit it a better time for Ringside Collectibles. Got to think this is going to be one that's going to be flying off the shelves, no doubt about it. Or I guess off the internet shelves is what we'll call it here. But definitely a must-have for a lot of people. All the bells and whistles. You get the shirts, the extra heads, the legs, the extra hands. 2 tag team title belts so you can represent with all that. Just a lot of ways to display this. And if you're a hardcore Usos fan, you probably need 4 or 5 of these. You need one on card. You need one displayed with all 3 heads. You need one for a rainy day if you're a hardcore Usos fan. But a very cool one, and I love that it comes in this like special deluxe packaging box for the exclusive. I think that is really cool. I can see a lot of people displaying that box by itself. Just absolutely awesome. I think this is going to be one of the best sellers of the last few years. Talk about hitting at the right time. I absolutely love the red shoes on these. Longtime viewers of the channel know I've always had a pair of red shoes in my shoe arsenal. And I'm not a big shoe guy after all, but I always have a pair of red shoes. Always have. It's kind of my calling card a lot of people know me by. How weird does that sound? Oh, people know, oh, that guy that wears the red shoes. But I guess it's true in some instances. I'm either known as the red shoes guy, I'm known as Kyle to some, and I'm known as Bread Jesus to others. So depending where you sit and how you know me, I guess. But love the red shoes on here. I'm all in for that one there. So the Usos should be shipping very soon as well in the next couple of weeks. So very excited to get that one here in hand. Got to think that's going to be an expensive one on the aftermarket as well. We do see a little Ruthless Aggression action, and very interesting. As I'm filming this, we put the Tori Wilson video up on YouTube yesterday. Edge and JBL are on Patreon. Those will be out eventually. So a little late to the party here, as those have already hit in some places, and some reviewers already have the reviews in the can there. So check out those reviews here in the next couple of days, or right now on Patreon. But very cool to see those once again. I didn't have an issue with that set at all, especially that Tori Wilson. Good to see. One of the most famed JBL Jax figures of all time. Really nice. And I always love that Edge. That's probably my favorite Edge gear. So a Slam Dunk Wave set right there in the Ruthless Aggression line. But here we go again with a little bit more Ruthless Aggression, as we do see The Rock. Now, we did see some images of these, or we saw the prototypes, whatever you want to call them, WrestleMania weekend. But we got The Rock from The Rock concert. I like the packaging on this one. It's very interesting that the guitar is broken in the package. Of course, it's one of those breakaway guitars. Mattel, we need to get just a regular guitar that doesn't break. We get so many guitars going back to the Jax days, the Mattel Retros, the Mattel Elites, Basics, whatever. They always break. We need guitars that don't break. We need to go all the way back to the Jax days. There was that Honky Tonk Man that got a figure where the guitar didn't break. The LJN didn't break. That's what we need. We need one of those. Because this Rock, I don't think it's supposed to be broken in the package. I think it's supposed to be displayed with it together. But here it is, the glamour shot they're promoting this with, and it has the broken guitar on it. So be a good one. You get a little bar stool with this one. You can have a little Rock concert. No pun intended there. If we do remember those days, it'd be great to put the Hurricane figure next to it, maybe something like that. But a good-looking Rock here in Ruthless Aggression Wave. I'm definitely picking all these up. You guys know how that goes. One that is really, really cool, and one that we needed to see released, was an old-school throwback Miz figure. Oh, way back in the day with Miz. Very cool to see this one. Of course, we did get an early Elite of Miz and kind of his chick magnet look. This is a very similar one to that. Very cool to see this one out again. It's really funny. Back in college, you know, he was fresh out of the real world. Or he'd been out of the real world a while. I think he was doing like Road Rules, Real World, the crossover show, whatever that thing was called. Challenge, maybe, something like that. And, of course, I was in college at a university. And a university, yes, I was. But anyways, those Road Rules and Real World castmates, I guess we'll call them, they would always come to universities and go to bar crawls and things like that. And The Miz was in town, of course. And at the time, I looked a heck of a lot like The Miz. And on campus a lot, people would say, wait, are you The Miz? Are you from the real world? Well, it really hyped up when The Miz was in town. And everybody thought, you know, I was out at the bars and stuff, and I was drinking free all night. The ladies were all over the place. It was quite the wild time back then. But The Miz was supposed to be in town for a couple of days for this university tour, talking event or whatever. And I guess they assumed he was hanging out at the bars. And The Miz and I about the same age, too, I believe. So very interesting times, pretending I was The Miz. I didn't tell him any different. I was a young college kid. That's the way it goes back then. But wild stories about that one. But The Miz coming here in Ruthless Aggression, I'm here for that, looking good. And then MVP, one of my all-time favorites from the Ruthless Aggression era forward. Probably the one that stole my heart like a young Rio the most was MVP. I always love an MVP figure, love a throwback MVP. I'd love a lot more throwback MVPs. Throw them in the top picks. Give them all the colors of the rainbow. I'd be here for that one. One thing to note on this Ruthless Aggression wave, some eagle-eye viewers out there probably noticed Paul Mart store put these up for sale yesterday. So a lot of people will have these here in the next week or so. So stay tuned for those reviews on the channel sooner rather than later. Then we turn our attention to a one that a lot of people are anticipating out there, and a lot of people are a little uneasy and nervous about. It is the upcoming Ultimate Editions, the Walmart exclusives, of course, RVD and Brock Lesnar, and we got a little more glamour shots on RVD. Get 3 heads with him. You do get the world title belt, of course. Would have loved to seen the ECW title with this one. Apparently not in the cards, but you got to have RVD's chair in there, I guess, at the end of the day. He's got to do the Van Terminator, doesn't he? Or the Van Daminator, whatever he's got to do. Maybe even the Van Dam lift. You can get another chair in there. But love this Van Dam. I'm here for all the Rob Van Dams, a longtime Rob Van Dam figure. Love to see him getting the ultimate treatment. But like I said, I know a lot of people are worried about these with the Walmart distribution. I believe, and I don't work for Mattel, but I believe by the time these start shipping, we should see some corrected distribution. It's a long story. I've talked about it 3 or 4 times. A lot of people are down on Walmart distribution, rightfully so. But it isn't Mattel's fault necessarily. They're working with Walmart and what Walmart wants to do. I think they gave Walmart a chance to do it. Obviously, we've seen it fail. I believe things are going back to the old way. We'll see what happens. You know, time will answer all that kind of stuff. But I'm going to hold out hope. These will be fairly easy to find in the future. So stay tuned for that. But then we got Brock Lesnar, of course. Brock, no stranger to the Ultimate Edition line, as we do know. A very easy, somewhat repaint, I guess we'd call it on this one. Getting the most out of your molds, things like that. But it's cool to get an old school Brock Lesnar. If you're a longtime fan, and I guess I was a longtime fan when this happened, but when Brock first came out, man, hadn't seen anything like it when he destroyed the Hardy Boys like that. I mean, definitely crazy. Spike Dudley, he about murdered him on TV. We'll never forget that either. But I'm here for all the Brock Lesnars. Definitely a good looking 2-pack there, or two set wave, whatever you want to call it, with RVD and Brock Lesnar. I'm here for both of those. Got to get them at Walmart, though, as we know, Walmart exclusive. And that's a good segue into the next one, as we're back to more Walmart exclusives. We're going to the Superstars line, another frustrating line to collect. I get it, and hopefully things will be shaken out and fixed by the time Vader and them come out. But we got Vader coming, and Vader celebrating Cape season like a young Lando Calrissian. Good for him. I'm here for that all day long. Getting all the use out of that big man body mold we saw with Earthquake and Typhoon. Of course, Bam Bam Bigelow's getting it, Vader, and of course, Captain Lou Albano. But I'm here for this. I'm still a member of the Double Up Club on the Superstars line. I got to imagine at San Diego Comic-Con we're going to get a sneak peek of what's to come next for the fall and beyond for the Superstars line. And this one hits all of me and all the feels, of course. The He-Man style, of course, the first kind of action figures I collected. Really do like this line a whole lot, and I know a lot of people like it as well. We're going to see how deep this line goes. Who's going to be next for it? Can't wait to find out some of that kind of stuff. But Vader looking really, really good. I've never met a Vader figure I don't like. I'll say that at the end of the day. Now we get old Captain Lou Albano, and man, I'm here for that. And very interesting, first time in the line, Captain Lou Albano goes to the Superstars line. I guess I would never have guessed that. I figured you'd throw him in the Elite line or something like that, or maybe Coliseum Collection Ultimate line. Now, I truly do believe we will see a Captain Lou Ultimate in the Coliseum line. I think they will. He's an old LJN figure as well. I'm sure we're going to see him in the Elite line, possibly Legends, possibly a regular wave. We'll see what happens with that one in the future, but I know there's going to be more Captain Lou, and I wouldn't be shocked to see future renders of Captain Lou at San Diego Comic-Con, so we'll see what happens with that. Now, one thing I remember from Mania Weekend, I think they were trying to figure out the licensing to the t-shirts on him. I can't remember if it was the Hawaiian shirt or possibly the undershirt there with his image on it, but it looks like they got both of them here, and I believe this Hawaiian shirt was the same one we saw on the Jakks Classic Superstars. What set was that? Series 9? Oh, tested my knowledge here on the fly here, but I believe that is that. But we've seen that style Hawaiian shirt before on Captain Lou Albano, but definitely looks good. And I guess it's a 2-in-1 Captain Lou in a little bit of ways. Kind of his managerial Pete Rose time where he was managing wrestling on occasion like a young Mr. Fuji. So we have a little bit of that going on, and then of course you get the pants, you get the shirt, extra hands, and you do get that record, of course, that he broke way back in the day, so that is cool touch there. And then you get a chain there for Captain Lou as well. But man, Captain Lou looking good, and like I said, I'm a bit surprised in the Superstars line, but man, I'm here for it. I'm all in, and I'm all in for some elite Captain Lou's to go with the British Bulldogs, all the other greats. The US Express, can we get them out there? Who knows, but anyways, Captain Lou is coming. And then one that we were very shocked about, San Diego, or I should say WrestleMania weekend, we were very shocked. This did come up for pre-order on Amazon. Going to be one of the most popular sets of the year. It's the Ultimate Edition Undertaker and Gobbledygooker. We finally got some in-pack shots of this one. Very interesting, that Gobbledygooker. And it's crazy that that's an Ultimate release, but man, I'm here for it. Especially putting that Undertaker figure with it. First appearance of the Undertaker, first appearance of Gobbledygooker. And then you put him in a cool deluxe packaging that has all that nostalgia to it. Man, I'm here for that. Hopefully that's shipping from Amazon, I think in October. Wouldn't be shocked, though, to see that maybe sooner. It's one of those things where you go to your Amazon account and all of a sudden you see your order window has changed and it gets bumped up on you. Always a great feeling. Should be interesting for this Survivor Series 2-pack. I'm here for that. Then one that came totally out of left field here that I'm very excited for once again, and I guess this is where we'll finish up the video as well, is the classic cage. It is the basic ring, of course, with the kind of trampoline going on to it, but it is the classic cage, the classic kind of WWE logo in there as well. You got Hogan, you got Andre, you got Mr. Perfect and Bret Hart on the front of the box. I think this will be a good seller out there. I can see a lot of people displaying, using this for figure photography. It's not a huge new gen ring or attitude ring or something like that. It's the smaller one. Perfect for figures, perfect for that. I can see people storing their legend figures in this one. Gotta imagine this could possibly be a Target exclusive. I guess we'll see what happens in the future. But definitely a cool ring here. I know a lot of people would like this cage sold separately for the new gen arena. I wouldn't be shocked to see one of these days we might get a cage as an add-on, something from Mattel Creations, something along those lines. And I'd be here for that too, because to me that blue cage is very classic, very nostalgic. I guess all these years later, I do prefer the traditional cage with kind of the wire fencing. It just seems more brutal. At the end of the day, it just seems like you're going to get more blood and guts than the blue cage. But the blue cage, there was just something special about that one. There's no doubt about it. And we're getting another chance at that here after many, many years. Can't say that's a bad thing. And we got to remember, Mattel's always going to re-release stuff if they see value on it. They're going to find a way to get it back out there. As we always do say, they want every dollar and every coin out of your pocket, because if they see secondary sellers making all this money, they would rather have that money. So you got to remember that. And then I guess the last bit of news here to really talk about is Logan Paul, Cody Rhodes Ultimate Editions. Shipping to many people. Many people already have these in hand. I haven't even got shipping notice for either of them yet, so I'm still playing part of that waiting game. That's the way it goes, and a lot of people are very excited they're getting those. I'm sure we'll talk about those and unbox those on the channel sometime sooner rather than later. I guess Cody, we already unboxed a month or so ago. If you want to check out that review, it is, of course, up on YouTube. But Logan Paul will patiently wait. We'll patiently wait with a Prime in hand, and we'll see what comes of that Ultimate Edition. I fully do expect at San Diego Comic-Con, we may possibly get an announcement of an Elite Logan Paul or possibly a Basic, something along those lines. I gotta think there's going to be more figures out there, especially this Ultimate Edition. A lot of people missed out. I mean, if you were collecting at the time, you have to look yourself in the mirror. If you missed this Cody and Logan, you passed on them. That's what happens. You're going to miss it. It was a made-to-order deal here for these two, and I think it was a smart move by Mattel, but then it gets major FOMO for people down the line, and that's kind of what we see on a lot of these things that are timed releases. You got an X amount of window to buy. People miss out. A year later, you get new collectors, whatever it may be. They're wanting to jump in, so going to be real difficult. I'm sure eBay is going to be flooded with both of these in the future, so I guess stay tuned for that, and if you really need one, that's the place to go to try to find them at this point. So there it is, the June reveals from WWE.com. I'm kind of surprised they even put a June reveal video out with San Diego Comic-Con so close, but July should be an all-timer. As I said, I will be there on the ground at San Diego Comic-Con covering all this fun stuff, so make sure you subscribe to the channel. You don't want to miss any of those videos. Live from San Diego, we'll be doing it over there. Like a young Jesse Ventura is what we're going to be doing, or Tony Gwynn, either or. But we'll be out there covering it all, so make sure you do subscribe to this channel. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you turn on the old notification bell. Don't forget about the Patreon for early access to videos and your best way to support the channel. And don't forget Pro Wrestling Tees as well. Search Kyle Peterson. And don't forget to hit me up. Follow along on social media. SirPaul64 on Twitter. Instagram, _Kyle_Peterson. So for the June reveals, I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.